The absence of the eldest brother, John Prevost, from the inauguration of Pope Leo XIV. When Pope Leo XIV officially assumed his role on May 18, 2025, at the Vatican, the absence of his eldest brother, John Prevost, drew notable public attention. Although he had traveled to Rome and met with his brother shortly after the papal election, John left the city before the inauguration ceremony took place. In an interview with the Irish Times, John explained that the main reason for his absence was to avoid drawing media attention and to keep the focus entirely on the newly elected pope. He felt that his presence might distract from the significance of the occasion. Even though he wasn't at the Vatican, he followed the event closely from his hometown and prayed for his brother in his new role. Previously, John had advised his brother not to choose the papal name Leo, due to the potentially unlucky connotation of the number 13. However, after further reflection, Robert Prevost chose the name Leo XIV as a tribute to Pope Leo XIII and his contributions to modern Catholic social teaching. Despite not attending the inauguration, John remains very close to his brother. They stay in regular contact and often discuss various topics ranging from politics to religion. His absence at the ceremony in no way diminishes the deep familial bond between the two. John's choice reflected humility and respect for his brother's new role. He expressed hope that Pope Leo XIV would bring meaningful and positive change to the Catholic Church and the world at large. As the Catholic world joyfully welcomed the new pope, John Prevost, one of the people closest to him, shared heartfelt reflections about the brother he deeply loves. Even though he wasn't present at the Vatican, John's words conveyed immense support and affection for the new spiritual leader of over 1 billion Catholics. "I went to Rome after my brother was elected," John recalled. "I met him, then still a cardinal, and we shared some deeply moving private moments. We talked, embraced, and prayed together." Yet, he chose to return home before the official inauguration, wanting to avoid becoming a distraction during such a sacred and public event. "I didn't think I needed to appear in front of the cameras," he said. "This is my brother's moment, not mine. I wanted him to receive the full light and reverence without the attention shifting to a family member." John also shared a meaningful memory. He had advised his brother against choosing the name Leo because of the superstitions surrounding the number 30. In the end, however, Pope Leo XIV honored the legacy of Leo XIII, a pontiff known for profound social reforms. "I understood and respected that decision. My brother has always been thoughtful and acts with heart." Though not physically present during the momentous ceremony, John watched from home and prayed for his brother. "I am very proud. My brother is humble, dedicated, and full of mercy. He has been and will continue to be a light to many in these challenging times." His absence did not signify distance, but rather a quiet, respectful love, one rooted in deep faith and brotherhood. John's reflections are a testament to a relationship that transcends ceremony, finding its truest expression in shared values and quiet support. Meanwhile, a deeply moving act came from the other brother of Pope Leo XIV, Luis Prevost. As the new pope appeared for the first time before the world from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, millions watched with joy. But in a quiet corner of the basilica, Luis chose to show his love in a deeply personal and humble way, by kneeling in prayer and shedding tears for the brother he holds dear. Images of Luis, an elderly man dressed simply and kneeling at the back of the church, were soon shared widely. He had not sought public recognition or a place of honor. Instead, he offered silent prayers, expressing a private and powerful devotion. A witness at the scene said, "I saw an older man with features resembling the Pope. He was quietly crying and praying. Later, I learned he was the Pope's brother. He didn't want to be seen. He only wanted to pray and be united in faith and love." Luis's actions, though quiet, touched many. In an era where public appearances and recognition are often emphasized, his choice to step back and pray was a powerful example of living faith and deep familial love. After the Mass, Luis quietly left the church without fanfare. For him, the greatest joy was not his brother's title, but the fact that he remained humble, loving, and faithful to the mission entrusted to him by God. His small but meaningful gesture became a symbol of the unity and deep love within the Pope's family. A gentle reminder of humility, spiritual devotion, and brotherhood. From the first moment he appeared on the balcony in his simple white robe and warm smile, Pope Leo XIV left a lasting impression. He was not a distant or imposing figure, but a pope marked by humility and closeness to the people. What moved the world most was the image of the new pope not raising his hand in blessing immediately, but instead bowing his head and asking the crowd to pray for him. This simple gesture spoke volumes. It revealed a leader who sees his role as one of service, not status. As he began his pontificate, Pope Leo XIV reinforced this image with genuine and humble actions. He rejected luxurious vestments, walked short distances among crowds rather than relying on a motorcade, and met face to face with the poor and homeless around the Vatican. There were no cameras, no grand press statements, just a gentle hand, a kind gaze, and heartfelt words. One particularly touching detail was his decision to keep the simple iron pectoral cross he had worn as a cardinal rather than switching to a gold one. When asked about it, he simply smiled and said, "The cross is a symbol of love, not power." The global media soon called him the Pope of the Poor, a title not earned through grand speeches, but through his sincere way of living. Images of Pope Leo XIV speaking with an elderly person, embracing a child, or kissing a sick person quickly became powerful symbols of the gospel's message of love. With a leadership style that is modest and accessible, Pope Leo XIV is steadily winning hearts, not just as the head of the church, but as a spiritual father to humanity. In the noise of modern life, his simplicity has become something precious and unforgettable. From the very beginning, Pope Leo XIV embodied the spirit of a humble shepherd. His gentle demeanor and compassionate presence signaled a new chapter for the Church, one defined not by prestige, but by service and love. Even in the moment of his election, watched by the whole world, he chose humility, asking the faithful to pray for him instead of asserting his authority. This alone marked him as a leader who listens and serves. His way of life reflects this same spirit. He avoided ornate traditions, kept his iron cross, and chose simplicity in every aspect of his role. More importantly, he continued to reach out personally to the marginalized, offering not just words, but real human connection through gestures of kindness. In a world often shaken by crisis and moral uncertainty, Pope Leo XIV is a breath of fresh air. His strength lies not in power, but in gentleness, honesty, and love. He is more than just the Pope of the Poor. He is a living sign of unconditional love, and a reminder that the Church's mission is rooted in compassion and humility. In summary, Pope Leo XIV is not merely a spiritual leader. He is a father, a friend, and a companion, a living example of faith, humility, and charity. In every step, every act, his presence reminds us all that true power lies in love and in the quiet service of others.